Welcome back to Spectator Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Keith Mitchell, and I'm joined with my two sidekicks, my two partners, my two troublemakers, Matthew Gitsilius Paul and Karl May Smart. And we have a newcomer. We have one of the new additions to the Outerhaven Productions here, Cam Olmedo. Cam, what is up, sir?
Not much. Just glad to, be here on my first spectator mode. Glad to be a part of the crew and talk about some video games.
And of course, I'm not going to skip over my buddy. So, Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm good. I just found out your last name is Olmedo. I'm not sure you're aware of fighting games, but there is a top player in Japan who plays Guilty Gear, mostly known for making the Johnny character. His name is also Omito. So just want you to know that now your name is famous. You're famous now.
That I did not know, but I'm glad to know that. It's probably spelled differently, but I'll take it.
Omito. That's how he spells his name.
Oh, yeah, that is not how my name is spelled.
Fantastic. Okay, no relations. All right, then I can't claim glory.
And you, Karl, how you doing, man?
I'm good, and I guess these two are now off to a great friendship, so I'm just going to sit over here in the quiet corner.
No, we got to follow the format first. We got to follow the format. At the very first, let's try and keep some semblance of organization. Then we go off the rails. We don't go back crazy at the very beginning. That's not how we work. All right, but how we do work is at the beginning of every show, we talk about the games we played this past week. And since Cam is the newcomer, he gets to talk about games he's played this past week first. So you're up, sir.
Cool. So I've been playing a bit of No More Heroes 2 on the Switch. Picked those up. I picked up 1 and 2 a bit ago. Finished 1 not too long ago, and just sort of getting myself primed for 3 since that's coming out in the summer. And I actually started up on Arkham Asylum again, of all things.
Oh, wow.
Because it's been years since I played it, because I do have the Return to Arkham 2-pack that they had. So I started up on that, and it still holds up pretty well for being a 12-year-old game, and it's still great. Aside from that, what else am I playing? I think those are the main ones. I did jump on some Smash Brothers just to try out Pyra, and she's super cool. I definitely like the way she plays. I'm not familiar with that series particularly. I know of it, but she's cool. And I'm, I've been playing that with some friends and enjoying that a bunch. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been getting into lately.
I think you need to speak to the Nintendo boys about Smash because they won't shut up about that game.
I would advise not to, but
That sounds like a rabbit hole.
Yeah, you can speak to me. I'm the fighting game guy. I can actually tell you what Smash is.
But Smash is not a fighting game, man.
Oh no, it is a fighting game, right? For the kids. I gotta keep that in there. But yeah, everyone loves Xenoblades. Xeno Chronicles. Sorry, wrong series.
Wait, since you're talking, Matt, continue. What have you been on this week?
I've been on a lot this week. I've been playing a crap ton of Loop Hero to the point that I'm trying to 100% this game. I'm actually serious. I've been playing some Team Fight Manager. I've been playing. My friends recently got back into Phantasy Star Online 2, so I just jumped back into it.
I saw you being on there a lot. I saw that.
Yeah, it's the updates have made it a lot easier to level, so I think it's really nice. And they added the 3 new classes. There was this episode 6, so I think it made some solid improvement. I'm looking forward to the next quote unquote update for the game.
Yeah, but I haven't played it yet. I did say I was going to play with you, and I apologize, but when they came out and said they're doing that new update, what is it? Genesis? Is it
Genesis? Yeah.
I'm jumping on Genesis when Genesis comes. I'm getting on that.
That's okay. Everyone, that's fine. I've been playing that, and I have been just kind of brushing up on some old King of Fighters because apparently they're popping my YouTube feed because King of Fighters 14, Shadow Expectations, and watching people play King of Fighters 13 and not be good at the game makes me upset. But that's a whole different thing.
I thought it was because you're getting hyped for 15.
I am getting a hype for 15 a bit, but I hate the content that people playing for 13 is. Pretty much the story is a bunch of NPC content creators are playing 15, playing Trials mode, and passing on that horrible mythicism of the game. Oh, King of Fighters is hard, don't play it. It's like these combos are not even that optimal. They're just trial combo, test execution. And 2, you were going to play King of Fighters anyway. Thanks for passing, more of your bias towards the series anyways, always. Also, SNK rollback, please. Seriously, we need that. I need rollback in my games now.
That is a rabbit hole with you.
Yeah. That's a rabbit hole. I can go like hours about how important rollback is.
All right, Karl, you're up, buddy. What you been doing?
Well, I've been doing quite a few things actually, but the main one was that I have given up my WoW addiction.
He even made a video. I called him out.
Bravo.
We'll see what
bravo.
happens.
It's like
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, as much as Keith wants me to go the extra step and actually delete all my characters,
Blow
which
them
would be
all
like,
away.
they'll be getting rid of nearly 10 years worth of play, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. But I have uninstalled the game from my computer. I have wiped the files completely from my hard drive. I even got rid of the Blizzard launcher because I don't really play any other Blizzard games anymore. Because, Matt and I don't ever touch Overwatch with a 20-foot pole like we used to.
no, Overwatch is just they just balance it. How to put this? It's so competitive, it's unfun. There's a way to make competitive games fun. It's just not fun. Just not fun.
Yeah, exactly. But since after doing that, I've been wandering, as per usual, back into my the game archive that I have. Basically, I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 5. I played a little bit of Doom the other day after Keith and I were starting to talk about it because of the Bethesda news article that we got coming up. And I also played some Pokemon Heart Gold, which I'm slowly playing my way back through again because I like the Gold and Silver games. And I even played a little bit of Dragon Ball FighterZ for the first time.
Oh
while
my
trying
god, we were talking about that
Well,
yesterday too.
Yep.
Gogeta. Yeah.
I haven't bought any of the DLC, so it's like I'm playing through it again, at least the story mode, just to see if, like, do I really want to spend money on all these characters? Are they worthwhile?
Yes, you do.
There are so many.
I can go into like an essay about the balance of that game. But anyway, yeah. Have your Dragon.
So the balance of that game that's on a fucking Richter scale while an earthquake of 8.0 is happening.
Basically.
Yeah, that's the balance. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Like, I have been playing a lot more games now that I've given up the WoW monster. So let's see how long that lasts. Well, before I jump onto another MMO, which Keith and I have to do thanks to the nice people at Square Enix.
Oh, we're totally playing that game. So I guess that leaves me. So I've been playing a lot of indie games. You guys have probably seen me talking about it on Twitter, and I've streamed a couple times on Twitch. Curse of the Dead Gods, which is basically an isometric top-down roguelike that's heavily influenced with RNG. Think of it as Hades, but more RNG. I'm really enjoying the combat. I've been playing the hell out of that game, so that is one of my favorite indies for a while. I've also jumped on Revita, which is a game Matt had told me about a couple days ago.
Thank you for getting on that.
It is a 2D dual-stick shooter roguelike. It's kind of hard to get into because the controls are a little weird, but I'm getting used to it. So that'll be my next obsession. I've also been playing Century Age of Ashes, which is the current beta playtest of the dragon fighting game that we saw during PlayStation's, I think it was their showcase. And pretty much it's like Panzer Dragoon with team deathmatch. You fly around dragons with 3 different classes trying to kill other people.
That sounds cool as hell, actually. Holy shit.
It's fun. It's fun. It's rough. It's very rough because, again, it is a beta. But it has solid bones. As long as the developers are actually paying attention to the community, I think it'll do well. Positive feedback. Positive creative feedback, I should say. Not just, oh, you should change this because it'll be cool. No, not that. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
I see.
Go ahead. Were you going to say something, Matt?
I would say more about Curse of the Gods. So do you find the defensive mechanics of the game Invasion to be fair? Like I said, I've only played the game during those first 2 betas, and I gave up on it because I felt the dodge system wasn't as good. I felt like it was more like, my opinion, the game was like harder. It was harder Hades, but with the stamina system, which I deeply, deeply hated.
So
I think
I see a lot of people having the same problems that you're having with the game, and I won't say that it's harder. I think the defensive mechanics are fair if you are able to adapt to them. So you have a parry and you have a dodge. Parry is good because parry leaves your enemies open for free hits, where dodging uses up stamina. So if you learn how to parry, you're in a better position. But the parry windows are very weird to get used to at times. And there are times where you think you parried it properly and you didn't, and you get smacked in the face. So most people just want to dodge.
right.
I've gotten used to the parries. Now, there's also buffs, perks that you get along the way that also helps. If you parry, you get extra stamina so you can dodge more, or you get one that your dodges don't cost any stamina. there's just a lot of RNG buffing debuffs going on in the background. Because unlike Hades, you just pick up perks as you play. In Curse of Dead Gods, you play
You have to sacrifice to get the perks.
You can sacrifice your blood and you'll get corruption, and then corruption adds a random curse to you, or you get random corruption as you play through a level. But you can also remove the corruption if you sacrifice certain weapons or do certain things or get certain items. So there's a system in play that if you get good RNG, you can abuse the game mechanics, but that doesn't always happen. Usually you get really crappy mechanics. And you get host.
Well, at least it's not as bad as Skull Slayer. Skull Slayer is the worst.
We will not talk
RNG.
about that game.
Yeah,
we would not talk about that game.
Like my opinion, the best way to describe Curse of the Gods is like it's a combination of Hades with the difficulty of Children of Morta, where in Children of Morta you'll be grinding a lot more to get the game rather than progressing. It's more grind and progression. That's the best way to describe it.
I love it though. I love it.
No, it's not a bad game.
As a Souls fan, the game appeals to me in so many different levels. And a game I have not played yet, but I do want to play. But this is a game I want to play with people. So if you guys ever want to think about playing that game, let me know. And I'm going to butcher it. Valheim. Everybody's playing it. Even people at my job are playing. I'm like, wow, this is weird. You guys are playing this game and talking about it? I must be doing something wrong if I'm not playing this game. But you need people to play it.
Yeah, I got to give credit's due, man. It did its job.
And I saw an interview with them today, and they were like, we based this game off of 3 games: Skyrim, Zelda Breath of the Wild. I was like, I gotta play it now. Dark Souls, I gotta play it. I gotta play it now.
That's a very elite group to sort of be inspired by, for sure. I mean, everything I've seen from that game looks very cool. Yeah,
but again,
it looks good.
It's a game that you have to play with other people. I'm always seeing people on Twitter going, hey, anybody want to play with me? And I'm like, I have bad experience of games that need me to play with other people. I don't know about that. But so far everybody's on this game. So it's a game that I really want to give a try. So I'm going to give it a try. All right, guys. You know how we do. We got topics. We talk about topics. We put in colorful commentary, and then we make the best of a bad situation or a good situation. So there are 2 main topics today. It's kind of slim pickings because this week has not been the biggest. So do we want to tackle the amphibians or do we want to tackle the behemoth?
Killing fishes. Wait, amphibians are frogs. They kill the frogs.
Oh, well, Microsoft already killed them. The Battletoads are dead. All right. So let's talk about Microsoft's Xbox and Bethesda, or I should say Xbox and ZeniMax. So last year, Microsoft acquired ZeniMax, the parent company of Bethesda and all its studios, for the sum of $7.5 billion. That deal finally completed a couple of days ago. It is now official, and Xbox owns all of it. And there's been a lot of speculation as to what this means. There's been a lot of speculation over the last couple of months as to what is going to happen to other games on other platforms that are developed by Bethesda Studios. So there was an Xbox Bethesda roundtable a couple of days ago where they broke it all down. They explained what's going to happen and what you can expect in the future. Now, I will say that Karl was 100% right. I was kind of thinking more along the lines of positivity, but Karl's like, no. As he said, you don't spend that kind of scratch and share your toys with the kids in the sandbox. You simply don't do that.
But by the way, I like that term. Karl is right. I like it. I like to hear
it.
I give credit where credit is due. I don't say you're wrong. I just say you're right. We'll just agree. We'll just agree to disagree. Yeah.
No. Karl was right. Karl was right. That's the term that needs to be said.
It is on the record.
Karl was 100% correct. I can say I will give credit where credit is due. I'm not that kind of person. So things to take away from, and then we'll talk about this in depth. Microsoft, Xbox, Phil Spencer has stated that there are communities out there that are with games being played, Bethesda games being played that will not be affected. So I'm assuming he's talking about the Fallout 76, the Elder Scrolls Online, basically anything that has an ongoing service, MMO type thing, those will not be impacted. It also will not impact games that already have contracts in place. So Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop. But after that, going forward, most games will likely be exclusive to Microsoft, Xbox, Windows PC. And when you pay $7.5 billion, you can do that. And I think what's worthwhile to take away here is I think a lot of people forget that there is a long-going relationship here with Xbox and Bethesda that's been going back since the Xbox 360 days. It was Microsoft that got Bethesda into the consoles way back when with the Morrowind games, and they just took off. So it's kind of like a full circle thing. I do have some reservations about this, but I'll talk about them later. I'm going to shut up. That was a recap. Guys, let's talk this out. What do you think about this?
I wish Todd the best. Todd's gonna Todd.
He's not leaving.
Oh, of course not. That's why I wish him the best. Getting in bed with good old buddy Phil. But I feel like this is a good move for Microsoft to have something on their belt for more diversity in their portfolio for gaming and stuff. But I do feel like this is leaning me towards that exclusivity thing, because I've been used to Bethesda games being everywhere. So it's like man, that new Deathloop's gonna be everywhere. That's fine. But like the next game, if they make a Deathloop 2, or if they make a remaster, another remaster of Dishonored or something, I'm like, crap, I'm stuck. So I have to get a Microsoft product. That's the only thing I'm sad about. But other than that, I'm proud of him. He learned, he marketed.
And that was something that I was thinking about. And keep in mind, when they picked up ZeniMax, they picked up Bethesda, ZeniMax Online, Arcane, id Software, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, which is big because that's the Japanese end for them, Alpha Dog Games, and Roundhouse Studios. So yeah, that's
an insane roster. Like, I mean, it was just with those studios, and they have such a huge history and a pretty solid lineup through all of those studios, and to see all more of those studios bringing exclusive content to Xbox is huge, and it's obviously been a part of a very big push for exclusivity.
Yeah.
Since they, previous generations, they definitely faltered with that, and I know in the lead up to the Series X, Series S coming out, there were all of those acquisitions. Even before that, there was Obsidian. There was a handful that I'm just I most likely can't even think of all off the top of my head, but they've been pushing for exclusivity, which again is good for them, but I don't know entirely if it's good for the overall consumers who are just all over the place, console wise. What are we going to do when more Skyrim ports happen? Where are those all going to be? The inevitable Skyrim ports. Are those only going to end up on Microsoft platforms, or are they also going to end up on your refrigerators and your toasters again?
Well, that goes back to the whole community thing that they stated during the roundtable, and there's a lot to read into, but it also feels like they're saying that if there's an established base already, we're not going to interfere with that. But we definitely know the upcoming games are not going anywhere. They're definitely going to be Xbox. They're literally going to be Xbox games now. And as I was saying before, I have an issue, and a lot of people are going to call me out for it. People have already called me about this in the past. I have a concern when first-party companies suck up third-party companies, because people are so used to having these games on multiple platforms. Now, I understand having exclusive games is what everybody wants, what sells consoles and everything. I get that. I totally get that. But there's also the thing about having games that were available everywhere, and all of a sudden they're only available in certain places. Like, a big example is Street Fighter. Street Fighter 3 was on a lot of platforms. Street Fighter 4 was on a lot of platforms. Street Fighter 5 came out. Oh, sorry, it's not on Xbox now. Sorry.
I mean, do you really want that game on your console?
To be real, even though we don't like it, it did hurt people who wanted to play it and were stuck on Xbox.
You at least want the option to not play it.
Yeah.
You want the option to play with that horrible netcode. Oh, okay. You know what? You guys you take your belief on that one. You can go for that hill.
But seriously though, it's the third party game that should have been accessible everywhere. But because Sony helped pay for some of the game, it was stuck on that. It's no different than Sega owning the rights to Bayonetta and going, hey, you know what? By the way, we don't want to finish paying to develop Bayonetta 2. And Nintendo comes in and goes, we'll finish paying for it, but it'll be a Nintendo exclusive. And that's Sega's like, okay, fine. And now we got Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, biggest mistake ever, Bayonetta 2, to be honest, was that console.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about. So you got first-party companies now owning a game that was traditionally a third-party game. And now everybody loses out except for everybody Nintendo. So there's my problem. I get the exclusivity thing. I don't want to say I don't have a problem with it, but I understand it. I acknowledge it. In Microsoft's case, that's great for them because they now have this, hey, Xbox has no exclusive games. There's nothing for me to play on Xbox. Hey, look, all these games that you want now, they're here. You know that new Starfield that's coming out? Yeah, it'll likely be exclusive over there. Go over there to play that game now.
And not to mention, like, all of that stuff being on Game Pass now, and that's just only going to grow. And yeah, like, and I'm a huge like fan of Game Pass. I think it's just an insane value. And you know, with Bethesda's roster, it's like joining that. It's kind of ridiculous, like how much is on there. But then coupling that with Bethesda titles or not even just Bethesda, but like obviously all of the, you know, studios under that umbrella and ZeniMax umbrella. And so you have like your Arcane and your Dishonored and your Prey and your Doom and all that stuff. Like there's so much, and it's really just going to kind of bolster Xbox as a brand and as a platform. But at the same time, I do sort of understand where you're coming from, Keith, with the exclusivity. Like it does, like for me, it does feel sort of like it is excluding a lot of people that would want to play these games or wouldn't be able to. So since like a lot of people have already sort of written off Xbox in the past because of the lack of exclusives, there are a lot at the moment there are a lot of people who don't have Xbox because there were no exclusives, and now they're getting exclusives, and a lot of people don't even have their platform. So and I know in the long run they're hoping that it will drive sales, and I feel like it eventually will. It's something that is going to pay off in the long run for them, but also not pay off for people who don't want to dive into like that ecosystem.
It definitely makes the Xbox Series X a lot more attractive for people who just want to jump in and see what it's about. Because I think the biggest thing here people are missing out on is that now that Bethesda is part of Xbox, those games that are on Game Pass are not going away. They're staying.
That's very true. That's very true, because it usually is like a revolving door on Game Pass for, you know, various titles, but since they are official Microsoft like properties now, like they're there to stay. So like no matter when you decide to get on Dishonored 2, it's going to be there.
It'll be there until the service goes away.
Yeah,
exactly.
Basically,
so that is great news for everybody. So I get it. I totally understand this deal. I don't have a problem with it. I just hope it doesn't start a acquisition war, because last time we wanted to see Capcom being snatched up or Square Enix being snatched up, you know, that would just be, oh man, I don't even want to think about that.
That would be, I mean, both of those, you know, those are two of the biggest publishers just in the industry. Like, I feel like if anyone picked those up, they would have just, either one would give them an unfair advantage, because they just have such huge rosters just independently of each other. But that being said, like after this acquisition, something like that doesn't seem
far-fetched anymore.
Too far-fetched. Like it seems like feasible, because now you know that like Microsoft and, you know, I imagine Sony is not opposed to doing something like that either. You know, dropping $7.5 billion for one of these one of these publishers. So I don't know. Who knows what could happen, but that would be kind of insane if Sony was like, "Hey, we're buying Square Enix," which like in a sense would make a bit of sense, because of just for many years like Sony had, you know, a good bit of exclusivity with them, but I mean not so much anymore. But yeah, it would be like a huge blow, like positively and negatively to the industry, if you know, all these companies like Microsoft or Sony bought studios like that. So it's a lot to think about for sure.
And it also goes to show that people back in a couple years ago were like, Microsoft doesn't have this much money, and I keep turning around and going, are you crazy? Do you not know where Microsoft has their hands in? It's like they have their hands in everything. The operating system, SQL, data centers, they're everywhere. They run the second largest cloud out there right now. They have their hands in everything. They're not just Xbox. They're not. they bleed money. Dropping $7.5 billion, as much as people are like, that could be a big chunk of change. That is chump change for Microsoft right now. Give me a second. I want to see their worth for right now. I'm pretty sure it's up there.
Well, while you're looking up the worth of Microsoft,
Go ahead, buddy.
I will say with the acquisitions, can somebody please buy Konami and tell them that they're a video game publisher, not a pachinko maker?
Yeah.
God,
Okay.
really?
So Microsoft is said to have an estimated net worth of $1 trillion right now.
Good old $1 trillion.
So, what's $7.5 billion? You know,
That's 7 point for that's what, one more ivory back scratcher? I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah, I do agree.
I do want to talk about like being serious with the whole Bethesda thing. The games that they brought out initially onto Game Pass with this announcement, it's a very weird and eclectic bunch.
Yes.
You got Dishonored 1 and 2, you've got Doom, the original Doom, like not the remake. Doom 2, Doom 64, Doom 3, Doom Eternal, so they're missing the 2016 remake for some reason. Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76, so no Fallout 3. Prey, Rage 2, no Rage 1. Elder Scrolls 3, 4, and 5, because, everybody needs more Skyrim. Evil Within 1, no Evil Within 2. And Wolfenstein: The New Order, Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, and Wolfenstein: Youngblood. So leaving out the new colostomy bag, or the old Colossus, or whatever they wanted to call it.
What did I call it last night? What did I called it something last night? I can't remember what it was now.
I can't remember either.
Yeah,
but it's like they're bringing out some
the
of
old
these
molasses.
that
there
are,
it is. Wolfenstein 2, the old
the
molasses.
old molasses.
Did not finish that game. Did not like the. After I got towards the middle, I was like, I am done. It was not fun.
But like it seems weird. Like there's one of the Dishonored games missing. They're missing June 2016. They're missing, the original Fallout 3, which was on Xbox 360. They're missing the old molasses or the old colostomy bag, whatever they want to call it, that goes in that Wolfenstein series. And did we really need another version of Skyrim?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
It needs to be everywhere.
The game has to be everywhere.
Their greatest creation. Is what they think.
But it just seems like a very eclectic, like it's some of their strongest titles, to be sure. But it's like, if you're gonna put them out, just put the entire series out. Don't leave one or two off this particular list, unless you are going to do a rotational basis. In which case, they can rotate other stuff but into at later points. But for initial 20 game lineup, it's very weird and eclectic, and I sort of figure I'm one of those people who's got the OCD when you sit down and play something. Like if I'm going to play the Doom series, I'm going to play like Doom 2, Doom 64, Doom 3, Doom 2016, and then Doom Eternal. And the fact that like Doom 2016 is not in that bunch, I'm going, I want to put that. It looks good on the collection. God damn it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Honestly, it bothers me. I have that problem with Resident Evil, because they aren't in order number wise, because the titles get weird after a while. So like, if you look at like Revelations 1 and 2 are all over the place, and it bothers me.
I actually have a stack of games, which is the Resident Evil collection, which I've got Origins, then I've got the 2 and 3 remake, then I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, and then at the end I put Revelations 1 and 2, because if I put them in like the order they came out in, everything's going to look really bad and my brain's just going to kill me.
Yeah, that drives me insane. I have them like digitally, and I don't like looking at them for that reason.
See, I'm even contemplating getting Resident Evil 8 on the PS4, just because I have the rest of them on PS4 and I need them to line up properly with the cases. And
What, you're not going to get it on PC now?
if Capcom gives it to me on PC, then I'll play it on PC.
Oh, no.
Hey, Capcom gave me 7. I don't see a reason why they're not going to give me 8.
Because you badmouth 7.
And everybody eventually agreed with me, because as per usual, Karl is right.
See, I set him up for that perfectly. You're
Well,
welcome for that.
if Microsoft buys Capcom, it will be on PC.
Oh, dear God, stop it.
I'm
I'm sorry. If anybody's going to buy Capcom, it's going to be Sony.
I agree with that. I 100% agree.
Stop it.
Same with Square Enix. If anybody's going to buy Square Enix, it's going to be Sony. I reckon the biggest holdout, if this does bring up like an acquisition war, is probably going to be like EA.
Nintendo.
No, EA, because they're like so big across all systems that they're like, okay, what do you bring us? How keep the bidding, keep going.
Yeah, if anybody tries to buy EA, they are next to Square Enix. They are going to be the top dollar company because they have so many properties. And even though you can say as much things you hate about that company, their games sell, and they always bring out games every year. And if only their sports division alone makes them money.
I'm surprised you guys to talk about another bigger Arc Systems. That's another people who buy a bunch of games. Arc Systems, Atlas, those against Sega.
But that's a third-party company, though. I don't really talk about third-party companies buying another third-party company.
Who would? I mean, I would say buying. Let's see, Atlas. You get outside of Guilty Gear, you get all the fighting games they got. That's been smashing it. You get their weird RPG crap. Did they? No, that was Atlas. Yeah. Oh, that's later.
What?
Persona? No, Persona's Atlas. If you buy Atlas, you get their entire they got the good UIs. You get their all the RPGs. You get
Shin Megami Tensei and all that stuff.
You get all that stuff. Yeah, you get the whole library. You know.
Oh, look, you know for a fact that'd be Sony. So much Japanese related and high Japanese selling products. Sony would be the guys to buy that.
Do you think Sega would sell? I don't think Sega would sell.
I mean, people said Sega would have got the consoles, and here
we
are.
Well, no, they killed themselves. That's a very long and sad story in history with Sega, but they killed themselves.
Hey, I like my Dreamcast.
I love my Dreamcast too. I loved it. The 32X is what buried them. The 32X and the Saturn killed them. Wow, on my phone. Yeah, that totally killed them. Then they were like, hey, Dreamcast. And at the time they brought the Dreamcast out, everybody was like, we're done. We don't care anymore. You burnt us already. So They killed themselves. I don't see Sega being acquired. And if they do, it's not going to go cheap. As much as people say that they would, they still have some of the biggest gaming franchises out there that they're just sitting on that they need to touch.
But basically, the big four, if there was going to be an acquisition war, would be Capcom, Square Enix, EA, and Activision. They're your big four.
Activision's not going anywhere.
If you can acquire any of those four, you're going to really start dominating a market.
I would replace Activision with Ubisoft. Activision is going nowhere.
Yeah, Blizzard is not letting Activision go anywhere.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Wait, other way around. Activision doesn't let Blizzard do anything.
That's fair. That's also true.
Yeah,
because if you notice, it's not Blizzard Activision, it's Activision Blizzard.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, Activision is going nowhere. Nobody's gonna acquire them. Let alone how much salary they're paying their managers and crap. They're upper echelon of people that lead the company, as I do air quotes. Nothing's happening to Activision. Because look at it. You'd have to pay for Blizzard. You'd have to pay for Call of Duty. Call of Duty right there demands money. Nah, that's not going to happen.
Call of Duty alone is like at least $7.5 billion on its own as a franchise.
Yeah, you're not getting Activision cheap.
Oh god, no! It'd be at least 10 to 15, easy.
But
it'd be one of those ones where if I was doing this, I'd actually split off Activision and Blizzard, and just buy the Activision products, and just let Blizzard die.
I mean
it's already dead, isn't it?
Yeah, they've been killing themselves for a while now.
It's a zombie corpse at this stage. Yes.
Yeah, it's like the only thing that I would say. Oh, have some faith in Blizzard's Diablo 4, and if Diablo 4 disappoint, well, here we are. That's it. Just Diablo 4.
I was just looking at Activision's games right now, and it's basically all Call of Duty, some Crash, Spyro, Call of Duty, Crash Insane, Call of Duty, Tony Hawk, Call of Duty. Yeah, it's all Call of Duty, basically. That's what you get with Activision.
Speaking of like Call of Duty, that sort of reminded me of something that like with like, kind of going back to like the Bethesda and Xbox acquisition, we could also see Bethesda or ZeniMax and all that stuff and all those studios working on already established Xbox franchises. Because if you look at someone like a studio like Activision, when they had a bunch of studios before, most of them are Call of Duty factories now. Like if you think of like something like Raven Software, who pretty much exclusively just do Call of Duty now.
Yep.
So we could very well see, Bethesda, Arcane, or whoever working on,
Halo.
an already established, like Halo, I was gonna say, like just any of like the already established franchises, like, and as opposed to just them churning out more of the things that they already done, which I'm sure they will.
I'm telling you right now, not to cut you off, I guarantee that they're already talking about you guys are going to help us with Fable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fable cannot
I can totally
fail.
see that.
Fable needs to come back at the top of his game, because
And
that
for all
way
the
they can move Playgrounds back to go and work on Forza.
Oh yeah, it's true. Like yeah, for all the issues that some of Bethesda's titles have had in recent years, I mean they're still pretty like respected and trusted for the most part. And I think with like someone breathing down their neck like from Microsoft and Xbox, they kind of be forced to be on their A game, and I can see them definitely working on something like Fable.
Oh, definitely. I definitely see that as well. Yeah. This is a great thing for them because they have more studios with more know-how. And I like you said, Bethesda gets a lot of crap, but now I want to say they get more freedom. They have more capital now to do exactly what they want to do, because I think that was actually holding them back. It's probably the main reason why they never wanted to go and build a new game engine, because I can't talk. Developing a game engine takes time and money, and they don't have that. It's going to be very interesting now. They have a crap ton of resources to do what they want to do now. It's going to be very interesting. But
Yeah,
it's
I think
also funny.
gonna-
It's also funny that John Carmack is not attached anymore. It's like, hey,
Yeah, I did see that. That is interesting. It's
Yep.
definitely gonna be
Missed
kind
it.
of a brave new world for them, and
Yep.
kind of opening the floodgates of like, I think for the most part, as far as like a development standpoint, it's gonna be pretty positive for them. It's like they've obviously had a great deal of pitfalls with some of their more recent titles like Fallout 76. Fallout 76 being one of the main ones, and then people had their issues with Fallout 4, since that didn't necessarily like hit as hard for a lot of people than as some of the previous ones did. But with a new engine and more people overseeing them in a different sort of environment, like we can see a lot of changes. And I would like to see Bethesda turn it around and like make a comeback, because for all the bullshit we've been giving them, and rightfully so, I feel like it's deserved. But I would like to see them turn that around and make a good comeback.
I kind of want to
can't-
see Todd get fired first before that happens. I'm being a little vindictive about that. If Todd gets fired first, like, all right, the comeback is real,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
can
see
that.
anybody not getting geeked out the fact that Microsoft Xbox now owns the companies that all touch Fallout, that are basically the top of their games when it comes to Western RPGs. They have Obsidian, and they have Bethesda, they have Exile. They pretty much have the big three when it comes to Western RPG games now.
Yeah, you can say that.
That's crazy.
Hey, at least I'd hope at least one thing from all of this is that Microsoft at least have a QA department, and we might be able to see for the first time ever Bethesda's games shipping with minimal bugs.
It's a bug, or it's a feature, not a bug.
Jumping through mountains, completely balanced. Skyrim had that since God knows how long. I think they still have it. I could jump through mountains, so it's fine. Good game.
It's just a very advanced version of fast travel, if you really think about it.
Very big brain right there.
Yeah, so this is interesting stuff. We're in uncharted territory. It's going to be interesting the first couple of years to see what exactly happens. I don't want to see console fanboys fighting, but that's going to be a thing.
They
don't want to
always
see it.
will be.
I just want it to go away. I
But
want
we
it to
got
go.
Bethesda.
Yeah, I hate that. I really hate that. We're here to play games. We're here to play games on the platforms we want to play games on. And if you can't play it on that platform, either suck it up or, unfortunately, just save the money up and just get the console, or go play at a friend's house or something. I don't know.
Or Keith, you do what I did. I wait a full year to get Foregone. I actually did that because I'm not giving Epic Store my money.
Yeah,
You
he
can do
did that. He totally did that. I was like, Matt. He was like, no.
Or you save up your money and you get a PC because everything's on PC.
I mean, it's getting that way. It's getting that way. It really is. I mean, we've got Sony bringing games out to the PC now. Sony, give us Bloodborne. Stop it. Just give it to us.
Yeah, you can jump on a PC and join the glorious PC Master Race.
Stop
Yep.
that word. I hate that word.
Beautiful word.
But you're not wrong. PC gaming is where it is. I'm not going to say console gaming sucks because it doesn't. We play where we want to play for certain reasons or others.
Except for at
Consoles?
the game store.
Uh,
I'm not giving those people my money. I'm sorry. I will wait the end of time to get what I need.
but there's some games that just aren't coming to Steam, Matt. You got to face that.
Oh no, they're coming to Steam. Don't worry about it. They are. I mean,
Yeah, but eventually, even if you do have to use the Epic Game Store, they'll eventually put it up for free. So
He doesn't. No, he won't even get the free games. He just won't touch
Nope.
it.
nope, I won't.
See?
I'm standing. I have principles. I'm not standing by it. I'm not
All
standing
those
by
free
a
games
company.
they gave out last year, Matt was like, "Nope." I'm like, "Matt, they're all free." Nope. All
Don't care.
right.
You gotta have principles. I stand by.
That's an ultimate act of protest to deny free things and say I don't want this, even though it's free.
It's like you're
Yep.
crazy. They're free. I'm getting them. I'm getting
Nope.
them all the free things. They're mine now.
If I get the free things, they have my account, which increase their user base or increase their revenue. Sorry, not happening. I gotta think the long haul here.
All right. So yeah, there's Bethesda, Microsoft. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years. At least it went through. I didn't think it was gonna go through. I thought somebody's gonna say, "Nope, we're not doing this." But here we are. We'll wait and see who the next big acquisition is whenever it happens. All right. Now we get to talk about something that I know everybody wants to talk about, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think everybody in this room is a fan of the series, either the comic books, the cartoons, the games, or all of the above. And the movies. Excuse me, and the movies. Well, not all the movies.
Not all
Mo-
movies.
most of the movies,
Most of the movies.
most of them, I think. I think we have a positive, like, good to bad ratio still. I think.
Working on it.
oh no, movie wise, it's gone bad. Remember, we had the two remakes and TMNT 3.
I do not count the remakes.
So that to put everything into
Wait,
the
are you
negative.
talking about the Michael Bay ones? Because those are like, come on, yeah,
Wait, you didn't like the cartoon TMNT?
those are
2007?
good.
That was good.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, and unless you're talking about the whatchamacallit, what's that guy? The Michael Bay ones.
The
Yeah,
Michael Bay ones.
No, those are
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah.
Those are
I
all
didn't
garbage.
hate the second one, but like it definitely isn't good, but I didn't hate it as much as I did the first Michael Bay one because I think I just like Bebop and Rocksteady.
Wait, Carl, did you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3?
No,
Okay. Okay. 'Cause I didn't hear you say that one. I was like, wait, you like that one? If you didn't hate it, then you must have liked
Turtles
it.
3 basically Turtles in time.
Yeah.
No, hell no, that thing's trash.
Okay. All right. I just had to check. That was easily my least favorite movie out of all of them. All
Keith was
of them.
about to just drag you if you
I
said
was
you
like,
liked
he
TMNT3.
didn't say that movie. Like, he
Keith
must have liked it.
knows. Keith, you should know by now. I have better taste in turtles than that.
So
No,
we established,
obviously it wasn't gonna-
we established
Wait,
that.
do you love was the classic? Was it 82, 84? The one with Vanilla Ice. That's 5 stars, man.
Secret of the Ooze. Yeah.
The
Yes, it is, yeah.
1990 first one, yes.
Yeah.
The
they came out a
highest
year apart.
grossing independent film of its time.
Because we got
Yeah,
Ninja Rap.
people didn't realize that yes, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990 is classed as an independent film.
Huh, I
Yes.
did not know that. So now you know. I did not
Now
know
you
that.
know.
All right, let's talk about this game. So I didn't know where they announced this game and that they're working on a 4-player co-op online and offline Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game. No platforms have been announced yet, but we can assume it's going to be PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, and probably Switch. Who knows about the last one? I'm not discounting Switch, but it's getting a lot of flack as of lately. This game is being developed by I always say EMU. I don't think that's the right way.
EMU.
Is that the right
Yeah.
way to say it?
People say most people say .emu. Some people say .emu, but I say .emu. But because emu,
Okay.
they're
so-
French.
Are they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they
French.
are. Sorry about that. I'm going crazy here. Anyway, so they are working on the game as well as Trippy Games. Trippy Games is known for a lot of their old school games and Panzer Paladin, and they're also working on Still Assault, which didn't kind of rub me the right way.
No,
But-
they're publishing Steel Assault. They didn't working on the game. That's
okay,
different.
that's right. That's right. They are publishing it, but they did do Panzer Paladin.
And
which I
one
love.
of them were involved in the recent Streets of Rage.
Yeah, that was
That
that
was
was
Dying
Dying
Emu.
Emu.
That was Dynamo because that was
Oh, .emu, yeah.
that was Lizard Q Games and God, what's the other company attached to that?
I gotta double check, but I forgot.
See, I'm forgetting it.
But yeah, so that Streets of Rage 4, Keith and I played a couple of games of that and really enjoyed it. I think he played also with you, Matt.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Couple of times.
It's an amazing game.
It's an amazing game. The netcode's is butt. That's about it.
Yeah,
Well-
that's my one flaw with it. I mean, I grew up with Streets of Rage just like I did with Turtles, and I loved 4 a lot. Even
Guard
if
Crush Games, that's what it was. I
online
remember now.
Guard
Crush
Crush,
Games.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of funny when I was talking to Guard Crush Games at PAX East when we were playing this. I was like, hey, so if you had a chance to work on another game, what would it be? And he wouldn't answer the question. I was like, Golden Axe. He's like, he wouldn't say anything. I think I threw out a couple other games. And I said Turtles, and he didn't say anything, but I was just watching his face, and he was smiling. So I guess that was one of the games he wanted to do because now they're working on this. So that's amazing. As somebody who grew up playing all the Turtle games, including that terrible Nintendo one that made you rage quit and toss the controller across the room because the underwater section was so much garbage, I'm excited about this.
Thanks for dragging up bad childhood memories there, Keith.
We all were there.
We've all
that
been there.
was the worst section of the entire game. I love the music, but just trying to get around in that damn thing and not running out of time or just getting electrocuted by I hated that level. I was so happy when they finally came out and said, hey, you remember the arcade game you played in the arcade? We're bringing that to Nintendo. And then I got that and I played it so much because I loved it. That was the better version. It was nothing like the arcade version, but it was not that crappy Nintendo version either. So
yeah, back when Konami was in control of doing plausible arcade games.
But they just made games, period.
Konami
Yeah,
had
they
an
made games.
amazing pedigree for games back in the day. They had a racing game. I can't remember. 2 racing games. Aliens. Oh, I love the arcade Alien.
Wait. Did they make Ridge Racer?
No, that was Bandai Namco.
Bandai
Namco. They had a game. I want to say Road Blaster. Maybe I'm wrong. They had a couple because I remember when I was a child and I used to get off of school and go to the local pizza shop, and they had one of the Konami racing games. And I played it nonstop.
But they had the original, the first 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Turtles in Time. They had the Simpsons arcade game. They had the absolutely brilliantly voice acted X-Men the arcade game with the 6-player cabinet over 2 screens.
These are some good ones. These are some strong ones. Holy shit.
Yeah. Welcome to Die. Yeah, great dubbing there.
Yeah,
but
they had a lot of
this new game, which is subtitled Shredder's Revenge.
We also can't forget Contra. Don't forget Contra. I'm not letting you go until you say Contra.
Good
Contra.
Okay.
But the new game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Shredder's
Shredder's Revenge invokes the look and the feel so far from what we've seen via like a 1.5-minute trailer of those original 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade games. But they go in the extra detail. Like they've rebuilt everything from the ground up. The animation looks very much like the old 1980s cartoon, but even with like just small details, every turtle has a different run animation, which never happened in the originals. They're adding more personality to the characters on the screen, and even putting in some interesting situations. Like there's one point where they're in an office building, and you see a bunch of foot soldiers suddenly rip off their ties and join the fight. Small things like that, which I think are absolutely brilliant ways to explore and expand upon the idea of what the Turtles games were about. The only thing that I've seen even close to this was a fan-made game, which I think was Mutant Madness or something along those lines.
When I first saw this, I thought that was that game.
Yeah, I had the same thought. I'm like, hold on, I've seen this before, where like there is a fan-made game out there that's based on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade games, which has tons of characters from the show that you can play as both heroes and villains. And I thought this was like that, getting a huge upgrade with a budget and everything else. I'm actually going to have to go check in on that game now that something is being produced. I wonder if they might get hit with a cease and desist because, obviously new licensing and everything else. But I personally, I can't wait for this. Like, I know a lot of us are either going to put into either buy this day one, or we're going to see if we can get like 4,000 review copies, like we did with Streets of Rage 4,
Or both. Yeah, oh God, yeah.
or both.
Big thank you to all the companies that made it happen. I think we had so many codes. I was just giving them out to people. It was like, here's a code, here's a code, here's a code. Threw a bunch on Twitter. Here, take codes, take all the codes. We've got enough. And then when I bought my Streets Race 4 Collector's Edition, I got another code that I gave out. It's like, I don't need all these codes. Just take them, please. That was fun. I like giving out stuff to people because it makes me feel good. There's not really much I can say about the game other than I'm really excited. I love the art style. As you brought up, the running animation looks amazing. I love the fact that it gave each turtle their own unique run animation, which means each turtle will, I don't want to say play different, but they all have their own unique personality. That is great. Now,
yeah, it definitely fits like everything that we know of the turtles and like all of the media that's come out before. So I feel like it fits like each of them. Like if you see like Raph definitely looks like he's just running in headlong as he would, and it it definitely like fits like the character. So it's like it's very cool. Also, just those sprites are just gorgeous.
Beautiful.
I just think they look amazing. Like they're
tribute
perfect.
games for you, man. They mainly do a sprite work. If you like that, check out their other stuff.
I played Panzer Paladin. I love that. Like that's such a good game. I love that one a lot.
Yeah, I really wish there was much more we could really talk about this game because there really isn't.
Well,
anything.
the game also looks like it has a special meter at the bottom of each character, so you could have like there might be special attacks included. You know, if you're into that stuff.
That would be super dope. I'd be very into that. Something that I did notice, this might be just me reading into like the cinematic a little bit, but we did see April and Splinter like doing some action. It makes me wonder if we will have some other playable characters, which I think would be super cool, just to throw in some like unlockable characters. Like if you play through the game, you get Splinter or April or Casey Jones or whoever. I'd like to see someone like Slash in there as playable, or some like just some other characters from like the comics and just other properties.
They're not talking.
That's what actually got me thinking that this was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the fan-made one called Rescue Palooza. I found it again because that game had 60 playable characters. Like you had like
a lot of characters.
You had April, you had Casey Jones, Yosagi Yojimbo, Splinter, Super Irma. He had Vern. God, you had so many characters, like including like you got Bebop, Rocksteady, you got even characters from the Archie TMNT comics being playable as characters in this fan-made one. Once again, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rescue Palooza. If you can easy, just Google it, download it, give it a go. Absolutely great game. But that's what I thought was like, oh crap, we're gonna like see multiple characters. We're gonna see big stages and stuff like that. Is this fan game on like a real budget?
Yeah,
I mean, that's what Sonic Mania was. Sonic Mania was a fan game with budget.
Yeah, well, they brought. Yeah, no, you're right because they brought in the actual people who made the answers. Yeah, I want to say what you were talking about, Cam. So there was a Q&A a couple days ago about Turtles, and somebody brought up that question, and they were like, "No comment."
I mean, it's not a no. So
yeah, it's not a no. So
it's not a no.
I mean, .emu always have added extra unlockable content in games from the Monster Boy game to Monster Slayer to Streets of Rage 4. So they got
Streets of Rage 4 had like all the previous from the previous 3, which was cool. So I could see that being something that happens, even if you unlock like sort of like the original sprite from the arcade games of the Turtles. I can definitely see that being something as well.
I just wish we had a release date. Don't announce these games that are going to attract the older generation of gamers that played these games, that know about the Turtles, and go, we got nothing else for you, thanks. It's like, just thanks for blowing my day away. Fantastic. Now I got to sit here and watch this one trailer that doesn't give me enough information or enough of anything over and over. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, they generated their hype. They generated their hype and just like disappeared into the shadows. And like, you just think about this for a while, and then, who knows when we'll, get a release date. Hopefully soon. I mean, I hope it's sooner rather than later because I absolutely want to play this game, and that trailer automatically bumped this up to like one of my most anticipated games of the year.
Yeah,
which is already kind of a loaded list. So, which is saying something about my love for the Turtles.
yeah. It's
But even I, it's like I'm looking at this going, okay, we're getting a Turtles game. What else are these guys gonna come out with? Like, could we see them maybe move on to some
Golden Axe,
other
please.
things from that note? Well, hell, they've done Turtles. Why not do Power Rangers? Two top franchises of the '90s.
I
Power
want the
Rangers
Golden
or
Axe.
Altered Beasts for me.
Altered Beast would be pretty cool. There's Golden Axe. Man, what was another one?
I would say Contra, but you already had a great Contra clone.
Cadillac and Dinosaurs. Why not? Sure.
You're assuming Capcom's going to give that up.
Then no one's touching it, so
I mean, Capcom doesn't do much with their old games, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because they have a big library too. I mean, I'm still waiting for somebody to bring back Final Fight. You would think that Streets Rage 4 did so well that Capcom's going, maybe we can capitalize this.
The worst part is like every time they port Final Fight, just Final Fight 1. They didn't get Final Fight 2 or 3. And I think Final Fight 3 is pretty good. Final Fight 3 is like almost equal to Streets of Rage 3 in a way, mechanically. But
I mean, they have tried to do Final Fight in like 3D formats, but it just hasn't worked. They've tried.
Streetwise is a joke. Streetwise
is terrible.
Yeah.
It's awful. But they've tried, but they just can't nail it. Just like got to take it back to basics, like they did with Streets of Rage 4. I feel like that's the only way to do it.
And I think a problem with that, and as you just mentioned, is a lot of companies are like, let's move everything in 3D. Like, remember what they did with Castlevania? And they were like, let's make Castlevania 3D the first couple of times. And we're like, no, don't do this. This is not good.
It's not like a good idea. They just did it anyway. Yeah.
Then it didn't do well. And they're like, oh, maybe this isn't the way we should be going. You think?
That works for some franchises. Like, I mean, Mario made the jump to 3D pretty well. And
I mean, it's a
has
platformer
maintained.
jump. Yeah.
That's true, yeah. And Castlevania is a bit more involved, I think, than Mario. But Metroid's also done it pretty well.
Metroid Prime set the whole thing to first person, so that's a whole different way.
That's true. True.
I would say Castlevania was successful with
Lords of
Lords of
Shadow.
Shadow.
Yeah, Lord of Shadow. The first Lord of Shadow was great. The second one, not so much.
The first one was good. The second one just
Yeah, the second one just went off the rails.
They tried to do too much.
And then they pissed off the developer, and the developer was like, we're tired of working with you. The whole Mercury Steam thing Mercury Stream was not pleasant after reading about what happened during the development of that game. Yeah, and then they broke up. Like, you're never getting another one. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but the first one was great. And now we're back on Konami again, and you're making me sad because we're not going to see any of their great games.
I mean, Kojima is making his own games, so maybe he'll make his own version. He'll make his own version of Metal Gear Solid.
Well, Kojima and Iga,
yeah,
they're both like, we're doing it our way, we're done, and they're both better than Mighty Number 9.
Ufune's more of an idea man than the developer. It definitely showed in that game. That's being me polite as possible about it.
So I want my $100 back.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That was the biggest mistake I've ever made. I will never do that again.
Never believe in Ufune. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's got some good games under his belt, and when he's not the one running the show, they do good games. Like the Azure Strike Gunvolt games are great. I love them.
That's Intake great, dude.
But he helped them. He helped work with them. He worked with them.
That's what I'm saying. He's a good idea man. He's not really the execution guy. I mean, I think it's the best way to describe it is like, games of Mega Man. The Mega Man X series 1 through 5 told the story. X 6 and 7 just bastards of a game that should never exist because he told the story. And the thing is, like, once he did that, they didn't know what to do because that's a Fune. Fune just does something, he leaves. But it's basically, yeah. But then they got Mega Man 11, which is super good.
Yeah.
Super good.
Yeah. Now we need a 12. And poor Josh is like, could you please hurry up and announce the new Mega Man for me, please? And for guys who don't know, Josh is our resident Mega Man fanatic. He lives, breathes, shits Mega Man.
He's collected all of them into his physical form. I love a Mega Man, but I don't collect all of them. I even because I heard some not good things about some of the ports. So which port's the best? So I'll have to look into that later. But
you can ask Josh. He's got them all.
Yeah, I got to ask Josh. Yeah, I just gotta catch them all.
Oh, we got this Pokemon stuff now. Well, we're actually at the end of the podcast. I don't have anything particular to talk about, but in every show we always leave a little wiggle room for topics that we may have glossed over or forgotten about. Maybe a rant you might want to toss in there. So the room is for everybody. I have nothing this week. Nothing.
I just want to play Ninja Turtles at this point. That's really all I want.
The only thing I want to rant about is Loop Hero. Please add more classes DLC. Please, this game is super fun.
Well, they did say they're going to add more stuff to the game. They definitely did say that.
Yeah, add more content. This game is fun. I can't stop. Even though I'm trying to 100% the game, even though I unlocked all the acts, I just want to 100% everything. I guess another thing I would like to talk about, please, for fighting game people, keep King of Fighters at your okay?
It's
not a hard game.
Oh,
it's not a
God.
hard game.
Oh boy,
it's not
savage
a hard
matches
game.
here now.
It's
Why
not
you
a
gotta
hard
be so
game.
savage, man?
No, it's just like, oh my god, these combos so hard. It's not that hard. You don't even need half that stuff, okay? Just learn Neo Max and hit your basic bread and butters, okay? And if you guys may have forgotten, this one guy, Crystal Gonzalez, he was just winning a lot of tournaments in King of Fighters 13, just doing basic Benamara A, B, and C combos. So what are you talking about? Let's get out of here. Anyway, please submit SNK, please add rollback to your game. Add rollback to your Sam Show 7 because Sam Show is a good game. You just added Cham Cham and a bunch of new mechanics, so please get rollback on your modern games. It's the future now. You are the future. That was your logo, so do it. And the last thing I want to say is buff Alex more in Street Fighter 5. I want to win all the matches all the time, every time.
Wait. Didn't you just say Street Fighter 5 is garbage?
It is garbage, but buff Alex more so everyone can complain. But everyone's complaining that these shit is dumb. Then you have characters like Alex who just lariat through it. So you gotta make the people just mad enough so they can hate the game as much as you're winning at it. You gotta win the hate, just like I did with Epic. I hate them so much. I just won because I got the game I wanted by believing in myself.
I just thought people were playing Dragon Ball now because everybody's going Gaga over Gogeta, even though there was already one in the game already.
Yeah, it's Gogeta's Gogeta. It's new characters.
Yeah, Maximilian's going ape crap over him.
Yeah, Max.
Karl, you've been unusually quiet. You all right, bud?
I'm good. I state what I want to state and shut up when I need to shut up.
We don't have anything spectacular from you this week. Come on, man. Drop something.
Hey, not every week is going to be a hot take or a rage-filled explosion. My main thing at the moment is I'm now on day 2 of the no WoW
he's going through
binge,
withdrawals.
so
Got it.
I'm not going through withdrawals. I'm just I just need to sort of concentrate in order to not get tempted by that game that really took
That's
up way
what
too much
people
of my
that go
fucking
through
life.
withdrawals actually do.
Yeah,
mine off for that.
I know. But if people haven't watched the video, it's up on our YouTube channel already. It's basically me going through 2 of my favorite raids that I had in the game, and basically just trying to reassure myself that I'm making the right decision by walking away from the game, and just realizing my life in general, it really isn't as game centric as it used to be. I've got other things going on in my life right now that require more attention, and I sort of have to realize, hey, grow the fuck up, and you can't spend all day every day playing video games.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because I think that's an important topic too, because game burnout is real, and even though you're not really going through game burnout, you have priorities, and that's very grown up of you to admit, because a lot of people won't do that.
Well, yeah. All right, so just to further expound upon this, as I have mentioned a couple of times in the past recently, I am preparing for my wedding to Rachel in August. So at the moment, we're having to get everything together just to get that started. We've booked a hotel. We've got the celebrant who's also already done the first draft of the wedding ceremony, which I read and I couldn't help but sit there and cry because of the big softie I really am away from all this shit. We had to sit there and pick out the music for the reception and the wedding and everything else for the playlists and all that. We've gotten all the invitations organized. We're basically at the moment getting them all put into the envelopes ready to send off, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. There's a lot that goes into getting that one day together, especially when you're paying for it all out of your own pocket and everything. Yeah, we are getting help from Rachel's parents because they have actually been preparing for this for a little bit, and also her grandmother, who passed away last year, actually left money to go towards the wedding as well, which is a big help. But getting all this done and together makes me realize that I don't have the time to sit here and play video games, or even my posts on the Outerhaven have dropped significantly. I don't even think I've made a single post this month, mainly because I'm running around almost every other day going, hey, I need to do this for the wedding, or I need to do that. I realize my priorities have shifted as a gamer. And that was one of the things that I was talking about in this video, where I realize now that my priorities need to be, there's the wedding, then I need to actually find a proper job, which is hard to do because of the whole pandemic thing. I need to find, a new place to live because this place that we're living in is fucking falling apart and the landlord does sweet fuck all. I can't even afford games at the moment because I don't have that spare money. Pokemon Snap is coming up later this month. I'm having to trade in Switch games in order to afford it. And I just realized that I sit there and I go to play a game and I'm like, I could be doing something else with my time. Especially when I'm sitting there playing World of Warcraft, because World of Warcraft and games like it, they're not games per se. They're mini jobs. I realized that I was getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning, jumping on World of Warcraft, and I wouldn't finish till 9, 10 o'clock at night. That's not healthy. It's not healthy mentally. It's not healthy physically. And yes, my physical health has suffered because I play the game all the time. And I'm trying to fix that. I have type 2 diabetes. I have high cholesterol. I need to get those down in order to see past 40, which is only 3 years away for me.
I will say that I'm glad that you realized that and took the initiative, because that was some of the issues I had with the game. You're very correct when you said the game is like a second job, because that's what it is. Playing the auction house, getting up and doing dailies, doing your daily quests, doing all that stuff, and then eventually getting down and doing stuff. Half the time I would get up and just do that and then cut the game off. It's like I'm literally getting up to do work in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Whereas when I go to play something like, Grand Theft Auto 5, or I go to play, Dragon Ball Fighters, Resident Evil or something, I can sit there and play for an hour or two and go, okay, I'm gonna save now and I'm gonna go do other stuff. I can walk away from playing other games and still have other things to do in my day. Whereas World of Warcraft, I felt that I needed to play it 24/7 because I felt like I was missing out on gear. I was missing experiences. I had to be there in case somebody from my guild needed a run through a Mythic Plus dungeon. I felt that I was being dragged into a world that I didn't need to be in personally. And especially when we got to the end of Battle for Azeroth leading into Shadowlands, I felt that I wasn't playing for me. I was playing for my guild. I was playing for these people in the guild who had this very, we must progress, we must do more, we must get to the next level of content. Like, they're the people who did exactly what I was doing. They were the guys that they'd spend 18 plus hours a day playing this goddamn game. And what happened in the end? They end up saying that I was a fucking problem because I told one of the guys to shut the fuck up during a raid, and decided that was enough for them to leave the guild and basically destroy the guild. So I was trying to I always made myself available to everybody else to play things that people needed. And I realized I wasn't playing this game for me. I was playing it for other people. And when you've got a job that you're doing for other people, which is essentially what the game turned into, it's no longer fun. And I was just pushing myself further and further. And even Rachel could see, like, I get off doing a raid, and I would be so drained energy-wise that I just couldn't be fucked doing anything. But now that I've made the decision, like, the video that I put up was the first time I'd actually touched WoW in nearly 2 weeks. Because I bought 3 months of time back in January, and I've been waiting for it to run out. It actually ran out as of 9 minutes ago during this recording.
Wow.
So my time on that game is officially done. I have no more time to play that unless I want to spend what gold I've got or whatever, which I see as a complete waste of fucking time and money. Yeah, I just came to realize that I have changed as a gamer. I have changed as a person, and the game has changed. So it's with that I decided to pull the plug. And believe me, as much as I will feel the temptation in a couple of months' time, 6 months' time, or whatever, every time they roll out one of their big new patches, I'm gonna be tempted to jump back on. And that's when I'm hoping that my friends, especially here at the Outerhaven, will pull me back and say, "Don't go back to it. Remember what you left it for."
Oh,
Even
don't
if
worry about that.
even oh, I know you will, Keith, but like even if I have to play this back to me, and that's why I did the video trying to convince myself I did the right thing. Because when I have those moments, I want to click back on that video and listen to the way I was talking, look basically the recording of myself in the eyes and see. You can see it in the video. I looked sunken. I looked dejected. I looked like a shell of a human being who really just didn't want to touch that game. But I was doing it one last time because I needed to get this on video to show myself this is who you were with that game. And you can be so much better without it.
You should send it to Blizzard. This is what you did to me.
No, I don't blame. No, look, I don't blame Blizzard at all. I don't blame them or the development team. They're doing the best that they can with a franchise that they were basically given.
Yeah.
You know, the thing with Blizzard is that they're not the same guys that started this game in 2006. A lot of the key guys that made that game a success have been gone for at least 2 to 4 years. So, you know, the development team that's working on it these days, they're not the same guys that started this thing all those years ago and made it into the success that it is. And they're doing the best that they can with what they've been given. And you know, as with any developer, God bless them for doing what they can do. But at the end of the day, I realized that it's more so me than the game that changed. And now that I've admitted that to myself, I feel like I can move on from World of Warcraft and I can get back to doing what I love, which is just playing games for the hell of it. Like looking at the whole conversation we just had with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love those conversations. I love that hype. I love that excitement that we get when we see something like this. And instead of what would happen when I usually play a game, and I've done this quite a lot with stuff that I've even reviewed for the Outerhaven, that I will play those games for a couple of hours, then I'll write the review, then I'll go play World of Warcraft for the next 16 odd hours. I want to give those games more time to make sure I get the worth out of those games than for a game I was paying now upwards of $20 a month for, and somewhere near $100 per expansion.
Well, I can tell you, you're on the right path. I can't even remember how long it's been. I'm actually logging into Battle.net right now just to take a look. But I've been away from that game for a very long time. It doesn't even show me last time I paid. Yeah, I was like, I'm done. I can't play this game anymore. I have to stop playing this game. And just what you just said, Karl, that's exactly how I felt. I felt so much better because I can get back and playing games I enjoyed. Okay, so I'm looking at WoW token time back in 2016.
Oof.
I've been free for, 2016 when?
Nearly 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years?
Yeah. And hadn't looked back. Like, I'm done. I don't care anymore. The only thing I have are sad reminders of of these World of Warcraft boxes that are sitting on my bookshelf because I always bought the collector's edition. I just want to take them and just go, get out of my room. Just go away. I don't want to see you ever again.
I'm the same. I've got some World of Warcraft collector's editions. Luckily, they're sitting in a box that has been put in the storage. Believe me, I would love to just light them on fire and let them burn, but I'm the type of person who can't do that to such things, especially because they contain the art books. And I'm sorry, the World of Warcraft art books are absolutely beautiful. But I will say this, and this is sort of my point. I'm sorry that I've taken up so much time here at the end of the show to.
No, sir. At World of Warcraft Anonymous, we want you to speak your piece.
It's more so for people listening who had to hear me rant on for a good 15 odd minutes compared to the hour plus I do on the video. If you ever find yourself, it doesn't matter what the game is, World of Warcraft or even if you, sorry to use this example, Keith, Dark Souls,
which I kicked,
or if you're playing Assassin's Creed games, Resident Evil, whatever you play, if you find that gaming to you feels more like a job or something you're doing every day for other people, stop, take a step back, and look at your life, and look at where you can improve. Because if you're looking to use this as an escapism all the time, it becomes addictive. You become as addicted to that escapism. And I'm sorry, but that's not living a life. Like, I know it's a weird thing to say in a gaming podcast that we do over here every day, but gaming is meant to be a hobby. It's meant to be something you enjoy. If you're sitting there and you're playing a game, no matter what it is, if you're sitting there playing friggin' Warzone every day because you feel that you're going to miss out on that award or that ranking or something in that game, it's time to walk away. Because if you're feeling you need to play that game instead of wanting to enjoy that game, then you're suffering from an addiction, essentially. It's the exact same chemical thing in your head. And so, as somebody who is trying to kick this habit, I know it's only been a couple of days, but technically this has been going on for months. I'm starting to realize and understand now how addictive gaming can be in general, and how some games have that way to really hook into that part of your brain that makes you need to play it. And that these shouldn't be things that we need to play. There's something that we want to play and we want to enjoy. And if you're not wanting to play it to enjoy it, then it's time to walk away from that game and find something else. Either find a new game or go find a new hobby or something else. I find now that when I start to get to that point where I'm really starting to feel that gaming is keeping me enclosed in my office most days, I go, you know what, screw this. I get up and I go for a walk. Or I say to Rachel, hey, let's go op shopping. Like, we have a lot of secondhand markets and stuff like that here in Australia that we love going through. And I'll say, hey, let's go to one of these things, or let's go out for a day. Let's go do something together. And I see this especially with a lot of couples as well, where one will spend all their time gaming and the other one will go and do something else. Like, I love Rachel. She gives me the room to do what I want. But a lot of evenings, I'll go and I'll sit and watch TV with her just so we can have a conversation. Because gaming shouldn't be anybody's life, no matter what that game is. And if you're finding yourself, again, if you're needing to play it instead of wanting to play it, you need to address it. And you need to really think about what you're doing with yourself.
There was Karl getting very deep, but very important conversation, folks. So I'll be more than happy to knock you over the head when you start playing WoW again.
And that's what I'll be funny. I'll be funnier next week and more argumentative, like every week.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I regret for your wedding, Karl, is you didn't get Sinister Minister.
He said he would be happy to do it, but unfortunately, international travel is not available. So
Gotta pay him to do a teleprompter. God. Anyway, if you don't know who that is, go learn some wrestling.
Oh, so that's what it was. That's why it was over my head. All right. Anyway, folks, this has been yet another fantastic episode of the Spectator Mode Podcast. And as always, you can find the Spectator Mode Podcast in Apple iTunes. And we would love if you go to Apple iTunes and actually leave a rating. The more ratings you leave, the more we rise up, the more people check out our show. I think we have an interesting dynamic here and a great show. So you definitely want to check it out and definitely give us a rating. Also on Google Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Spotify, Plex Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and wherever else podcasts are hosted. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. So you have no excuse not to listen to us. And once again, from myself, from Karl, from Cam, from Matt, thank you for checking out yet another episode of the Spectator Mode Podcast.